Welcome to Soul Science Podcast with Dr. Liz Lehman and Jacqueline Kane. Today's topic, we wanted to talk about opioid and mental health because it's a really big problem right now. And we'd like to help give some suggestions of other ways to heal to get to the root cause.
Yeah, that's perfect. And in researching for this podcast, July is actual opioid abuse awareness month. So I think people are going to be hearing a lot about this in the next month because it's so ubiquitous. Like so many people are addicted to pain medicines, and it's a gateway to heroin. That's not fake. I mean, just in looking it up, like 5% of people who are on chronic pain medicines transition into heroin use, which is terrifying.
Very terrifying. And there's a lot of trauma. Our kids, let's face it, during COVID, our kids have been through trauma. So going forward, how do we help them get through and heal the trauma that they've attracted into their bodies because it's global, right? And so let's talk about mental health and opioids and why is it such a big deal? Why are so many people addicted to opioids?
Well, coming from my medical background, and I'm just gonna say it, Jackie, you know how I feel. They're big pharmaceutical companies wanted to make money. They're in the business of making money. They're not in the business of helping and healing.
No, because healing doesn't make money.
Exactly. They don't want well people. They want sick people. There's no money to be made on healthy, happy, well people. No. So, I mean,
No.
we've had this discussion. It's so true. So they came up, and it was probably in the 1980s that they came up with the pain scale, where it became a societal norm. Any patient walks into their doctor's office, walks into a hospital. When you check in, they will ask you to rate on a scale from 1 to 10, what level of pain you're having today. I don't know. I mean, we all have pain every day. Pain is normal.
It is normal.
And the older you get, the more stuff hurts. And frankly, I see that as a, hey, I'm alive. Something hurts today, you know?
Yeah, I can feel my body. Right. That means I'm alive.
Right.
Yes.
I feel my back. I feel my knee. I feel my hands. Yes, I am in pain. And we are not, as humans, meant to be pain-free ever. But
although we can be pain-free,
you can be pain-free. But I think you learn to live with your pain, and you minimize you minimize what is going on in your body. It becomes in balance. It becomes in tune. I mean, I feel very balanced. I don't know if I'm ever pain-free because of my arthritis in my hands and everything. Like throughout the day, I will have various moments where I'm like, oh, I did something that hurts it, you know? I don't go run and take a pill though. But the design, the intent of these pharmaceutical companies was for you to become addicted. I'm just going to say it. They did it. They did it because you're not allowed to leave the hospital if your pain score is 8 or above. They will keep giving you pain medicine until you say, unless you walked in and said your pain is 10 out of 10. And some days it is. Some days you have that migraine. Some days you have, like the shingles are acting up or whatever is going on. Your shoulder's dislocated. Yeah, that's a 10 out of 10 pain. I've done that before. That can be fixed. But yeah, that was their intent. And they have created a society of people who are addicted to narcotics and now rely on narcotics for everything. When you're depressed or when you're upset, take a pill. That's not a good way to live.
And it gets reinforced by the commercials on TV, the radio, everywhere. There's signs everywhere because they have the money to market like that, where healing professionals really don't.
No.
So it is a problem. And I forgot where I was going to go with that. But it is a problem. So why do we enjoy have enjoy being on them. It makes us feel good, right?
It
It
makes,
makes them, it gets us out of dealing with my life and facing the fact that I may not be happy.
yeah. Okay, I'll share personal story here. Um, I had surgery on my hand that stopped me from being an anesthesiologist. 4 days after that first surgery, I developed shingles, and it was right on my forehead. I don't know, you can still see a scar there. And I had never been a headache person in my life, other than, whatever. I had too much to drink the night before, travel, jet lag, that kind of stuff. No migraines. That was not my thing. I had the shingles here and they went all around my eye. They cleared up, but they left me with, the term is post-herpetic neuralgia, where the shingles virus is in that nerve root and it stays dormant there, and it has inflamed the nerve. So it caused a headache that was like an ice pick going into my brain for 5 months straight. I was
Oh my
miserable.
gosh.
Yeah, it was rough. The surgery, I recovered from that for a week. The shingles took me a solid 6 months. It really knocked me off my game. And so, whatever, I was on the anti-shingle medicine, the antivirals, then the headache started. Then I saw the internist. They, of course, give you pills, and you are desperate. I was desperate to feel better. I'm stuck on the couch. I can't do anything. I'm miserable. Put me on like the Neurontin, put me on the Elavil. I was taking the Percocets from surgery, and my hand surgeon was like, well, you need to have more of those because, you're so miserable. The hand wasn't hurting, it was the headache. So I was taking all these medications, trying to find an answer. And for the first time in my life, I saw how somebody could become addicted to pain medicine.
Yeah.
Which was mind blowing to me, because as an anesthesiologist, I routinely administered narcotics for pain in the operating room and pain in the recovery room. I was like, it's a standard. I mean, I wasn't writing prescriptions for long-term treatment of stuff that just is not my scope of practice. And people would come in addicted all the time. And as an anesthesiologist, myself and other people, we would sort of roll our eyes like, oh God, we got another one. There can't give it the list of drugs this long. Something's wrong up here. But, we just kind of like, whatever. I saw how it could happen, and it terrified me, because I wanted to do more. I wanted to do more. I had gotten my medical marijuana card. So I'm in the state of Maryland. It was legal. I got that. And I was like CBDing, THCing. I was doing everything I could. And I had to stop it all. I stopped everything because it
Did you
wasn't
stop cold
working.
turkey?
I did not want to. Well, I tapered off. I think it was on the Elavil at the time, because if you stop that cold turkey, you can get seizures. Yeah. So I tapered that down and I started acupuncture. That was the only thing that worked, because the medicines weren't working. They were making me dull in the brain. I still had the pain, and I kept having to up and up and up the dose. And that's what happens. Like, your body gets used to it. It's a medical thing. Like, we all know, you develop tolerance to that level of narcotic in your system, and the only way to go is up. There's I stopped it. And but it was scary, because it's very easy. And you think of these drug addicted people, it's not the guy who's living, under the underpass. No,
it's your neighbor. It's the person it's the person in the cubby next to you. It's your coworker. It's the mom next door, the mom who's dropping their child off. I mean, I've had so many clients come in and say, I take all these drugs and it only takes the edge off. So even after all that drugs, and let alone, you don't even know what those drugs are doing to your liver, your kidneys, the rest of your body, causing dehydration, right? And these clients have been in pain for like decades, sometimes 40 years. It's just crazy.
Right. And they go see their regular doctor, and they're like, oh, well, let's give you this, let's try this. Or you're like, oh, I'm really constipated. Well, we're going to give you this to treat the constipation. It's because you're taking your Percocets or your Percodans or your morphine.
Fine, yeah.
Right. You're taking all those pain pills. That is a side effect of them. So you don't then add another pill. You need to get rid of what's causing the problem. Jackie, what do you tell your clients? How do you get them off?
Well, first we have to understand pain. Pain in our lives is telling us that we're out of balance, right? We talked about this before, that we're not in the ease and flow of our lives, and it's trying to get our attention. But we're so busy, and as humans, we go, go, go. It's a really fast society. We don't want to take the time to slow down. But if you slow down, you took a few breaths, maybe did some yoga, maybe did some breathing, and start asking your body, okay, low back, like you have all the answers inside of you. If you started asking your low back, what is it you need today? What do you need to feel better? And sometimes it could just be, I'm tired. Could you please lay down for a little bit and take a nap because you're going 24/7 and I can't keep up and I'm depleted and I can't help one more person. And there's a really great book, Louise Hay's, How to Heal Your Body. In the back of the book, she goes through every ailment. I don't know, she must have channeled the whole thing, but every ailment and what it does. And when clients come to me, say they've had low back pain for years, or no matter how long you've had it. Okay, so what's the emotion under that pain? So say you have back pain. How does that make you feel? How do you feel about that? Are you worrying about it? Well, I'm really worried it's going to get worse. I'm worried I will never be pain-free. I'll never get my life back, right? I'm worried about what else is going to go wrong. And then because our thoughts and our beliefs create our reality, right? So if the other thing about low back is, where's your support system? Low back is all about how supported you feel in life. And if you're not feeling supported energetically, right? Because in order to heal on all levels, energetic, spiritually, physical, all of it, you have to look at everything. So if you look at the energy and you're living a life where you're doing everything for everybody and you're unsupported, that pain is going to go into your low back and you're going to start feeling it there. That because it becomes physical, because you've had that low pain back long enough. You've probably lived a lifetime and learned that you had to do it all because maybe your parent, you grew up in a dysfunctional family. Let's face it. I'm sure many people have lived in dysfunctional families because we were meant to.
Right? There's all forms of dysfunction. Yes, yes. I think everybody can say, yep, this was,
Yeah. And we learn from our families. They're our best teachers.
Right.
But how can we learn that and transition that dysfunction into living our best life and letting it go and healing? And so that's what when a client first comes in, I start asking them, how does the pain make you feel? When was the first time you felt that pain? There's always something going on when a person first starts that pain. If we go there and we experience, now again, if somebody's had a lot of trauma, this is very gentle work because we can't just throw you back into the trauma to re-traumatize you. It's a journey, right? Of peeling the layers away to uncover what the pain is trying to tell you. So each layer we peel away, and if we're sticking with low back pain just for an exercise right now, okay, what happened the first time you had that? You felt it. Well, maybe my husband told me he didn't love me anymore. Maybe that was the start of the unraveling of my marriage, right? And you took on that physical pain because you really don't want to deal with the emotions. And it's the same thing if we take it all back to, opioids. if you're not communicating well, if you're in bad relationships, then who wants to feel that, right? So we just
Right.
start taking pills just to numb all of that. And in order to heal it, just like you went to an acupuncturist, you got back to the body because your body knows how to heal. That acupuncturist helped improve your meridians in your body, opened up your energetic channels so
Yeah.
that there was more ease and flow in your life, and helped you to have the courage to make a shift.
I think that is so awesome. I mean, you just nailed it. So it is our repressed emotions and all the things we've never dealt with
Mhm.
that are becoming manifesting as different pains. That's what you're saying, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
the energetic and the emotions over time become physical.
yeah.
And the more research I was doing, because it's about finding the right words to explain to people how I help people become pain free. And in that studies, I came aware of Bernie Siegel. And Bernie Siegel, back in 1970s, said that when he asked his cancer patients what was the underlying emotion, resentment. Underlying emotion for cancer patients was resentment. How many of those people had buried all of their anger and resentment? Because anger is not an emotion that we're comfortable expressing. We're taught it's not right. Be the good little girl. You're not
Not
angry. Don't show
acceptable.
anger.
Yeah.
Be nice. Get over it. Don't make a big deal about it. Right. I mean, oh my God, it goes on and on. So what do we do with that energy of, ugh, like, ugh? We suppress it.
And think of what that does on that cellular level. That
Yes.
you put it into your cells, and of course they're going to grow abnormally. They're going to mutate into cancer.
Mhm.
I
We're
mean,
going to produce more children with that suppressed anger,
yeah.
right? So generationally, it's passed down from one to the next.
Mhm.
Even recently, we've had a few people in the family with breast cancer, and I'm like, boy, you would never. Louise Hayes says breast cancer is unresolved anger, unresolved resentment. And I was thinking about this, like, the person in our family who ended up with breast cancer, she was very sweet and she didn't seem like she got angry, but she was very quiet.
Uh,
So, did she suppress it her own, or was that energetically passed down ancestrally, and it was created in her body? It transformed as breast cancer in her.
right. And I know you need to determine, like, it helps to determine where it came from and part of the treatment. But bottom line is, you've got these underlying resentments and angers and imbalances energetically that are causing the disease. They're causing the pain. They're causing this chronic misery. And it becomes so like self-fulfilling, like it's much easier to operate at that miserable level, that's at low level energy. And then you gravitate to people who are also in that, and then it further reinforces. How do we up level our energy to start the treating of all of this, the healing? How do we do it, Jackie?
Well, and let's face it, because we want to have a tribe, right? And the world lives in misery, and the world gossips. So that's what we all do when we get together. So I know in my own journey, I had to make the decision, because my marriage was actually falling apart. And in that healing, I had to make the decision I didn't want to gossip anymore. I wanted something completely different. And to be different, I had to stop the gossip. I had to actually spend less time with those friends that's all they did, right? And God bless them, I love them, and I wish I could spend more time with you, but I want to have fun. I want to help uplift more people. I don't want to help bring more people down. So it does kind of take commitment on your part to say, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not going to be that person anymore. And I
Yeah.
want to be something different. And it's scary in the beginning because you may have to shift your friends,
Yeah. Yeah. I've
right?
done it. Yep. I have pulled back from those toxic relationships. You're right. The ones that want to get together, have a bottle of wine and have a total bitch fest about it. And you're like, oh, and you leave there feeling horrible.
Yeah,
Like it's not an uplifting
no,
lunch event. It's like
no.
bringing you down. So you do have to up level your, your cohort, your people who
Yeah,
you're spending time with. And that's a boundary thing too, because you're like, no, you just can withdraw or ghost them, but it's better to kind of deal with it, I think, and just be like, yeah, I'm not able to meet up with you right now.
yeah. And it does go back to how much self-love do you want to give yourself?
Yeah.
And you are worthy enough to have better relationships. There's 7 billion people in the world. There's going to be more people out there that you can find to hang out with who are all about uplifting the planet and helping each other instead of bringing them down.
Right, right. And as women, and I think this was ingrained in us so early on, and it became a thing like for us to fit into the crowd. You think about when you're like, I remember in 5th grade and people like, oh, I'm fat, or oh, ooh, I don't like this, or my shoulders are clunky, I don't like them. And you start this negative dialogue to fit in, and we're doing it decades later.
Mhm.
And it's breaking that cycle. We've got
Yeah,
to break it.
yeah. You've got to break it. And not just for us, but for the future generations. Because
Yeah.
what are we teaching our kids? Right? And they have it hard enough with everything that's going on in the world and as they evolve. And so how can we make it easier for them? So when we clear the energy, when we get to the root emotion that we want to feel and tune into how are we feeling on a daily basis, it makes all the difference in the world. And that's what I get to do with my clients. And that's what I've done in my life. My life today is just such a shift from where I came from. And I get to be authentically me. My clients get to stand up for themselves and be them in an unapologetic way, speaking up for themselves and having a lot more fun and manifesting so much more.
Ah, that's so
So,
great, Jackie. You're a light worker. Like you really are though, because you healed yourself and put yourself on that path of enlightenment and like higher vibration and abundance. And now you're teaching other people, because you can't do it for them. You're teaching them how to find it in themselves and do it. And as a result, their mental health is improved, their physical health and pain is diminished or negated, and they're surrounding themselves with light and positive energy. So you are a light healer.
aw, it's fun. And the ripple effect of that, because when we do it for ourselves, we give other people the permission to do it for themselves. And it's a beautiful ripple effect across the world. So,
So
yeah.
good. So yeah, so I think like the take home is really to, instead of reaching for that pill, that quick fix that our society has made such a norm, whether it's for pain or diet or anything, there is no quick fix. And as you said, it's all in here. It's opening up your heart and mind to what's happening in your body. And those emotions are causing the imbalance. So don't take a pill. Don't take a pill, guys. Look into another way to treat it. Go see Jackie. Where can we find you, Jackie? So say just somebody's listening and they're like fascinated with this conversation and want to learn more. Where can people find you?
So you can look me up at my website, JacquelineMKane.com. So that's JacquelineMKane.com. I also have a Facebook group, Healing Circle by Jacqueline Kane, where I offer right now, I'm offering a lot of free healing sessions on there as a group. So come and see me there.
I mean, it doesn't get better. You heal, number one, but you're going to heal for free. So everybody doing that, like, that's amazing. It's so good. It's so good. All right. Well, hopefully everybody will take home those lessons and live in less pain.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.